All right. Hello. Good morning. I have been extremely busy and I just now got the opportunity to look at Triple's response to me. And you know what, Triple, I'm gonna say a lot. And goodness. I have a lot to say, okay? And I think that you are so sweet, you know what I'm saying? Like and I really, really appreciate um you not going along with the crowd of that group, okay? But you know what? It's one thing about me. I'm gonna tell you something. I am a witch, Triple. And you know what? We pay attention to subtle things, covert things, okay? We do. Um, Sometimes you can outwardly be respectful to somebody and nice to them, but for you to say, I got love for you or I love you, but then for me, for you to say that you have love for someone else that wished death on me, right? To me, that's like, that ain't even a sneak diss. That's something obvious. Now, in order for you to understand where I'm coming from, you have to think about the fact that I don't want to be bothered with that sector. Okay. I don't know how often you listen to me when I speak. I have never wanted to be bothered with any of that. I haven't. I've been very vocal about that. I don't want my name to be included. I don't want to be included. Hey, truly yours, whatever. Hello. I don't want to be bothered with it. I've never, ever, ever in my life, and my life to me, it's not boring. It's not incomplete. I love my life. And for the past 10 years, to have this stain, because to me the black sector is like a stain that I haven't been able to get rid of. And so let me just make that clear before I continue this conversation. And I know that you know that. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be mentioned. I'm an extremely sensitive. I can hear people from hundreds of miles away. And you know what? I recognize what's happening. So I noticed that in your response, you kept talking about Miss Smell. Okay. I wasn't talking about Miss Smell. I was talking about Hope. And see, for me, there's things that I know about people that other people don't notice. And it was a reason why I didn't like Hope. I didn't like her, and I don't want to hear nobody crying about me saying that either, because you have to understand the experiences that I was having with Hope the entire time that I was dealing with Mike. Okay. So while you can't put yourself in my situation because you doing your own thing, right? But Hope would get excited and happy when Mike would be abusive to me. Now that's the number one reason. I had a very good and see, in that group, that's why I don't like y'all group. I don't deal with people like that socially. Never in my life. And I've been on this earth long enough to know what I like and what I don't like. Right? So I would never hang around a person that even was okay with the way that Mike was being abusive to me. I wouldn't be cool with that. I would never, ever, ever have been Hope. Because you know what? If I ever saw a male disrespecting any woman the way Mike did me, and we're gonna get into all of that right now, because I feel like I need to talk to you about this because it's almost like this abuse and dysfunction. It seems like it's being normalized and it's not, right? So I would never ever be in the chat room of a male that is being disrespectful to a woman like me, because most of the people that know me, they know me, they know Jamila, and they know Jamila would never ever ever get down like that, like all of the hoopla, all of the just the craziness and the and I don't like adrenaline at all. Like I don't even get on roller coasters. I don't do stuff like that. I don't like all that. I like to I'm a very chill person. In fact, I would really like the day that I'm able, and that day is coming soon, to where I'm able to go and just relax at the lake and just forget about that whole experience was awful for me. Now, I'd never had that experience ever in my life. Dealing with somebody like Mike, you realize that Mike is crazy, right? Mike called me one day out of the blue. I had not said anything to him. I had not went live. This is the God to honest truth. I've always been the type of person that's been quiet, that sit back and observes. He just all of a sudden called me one day, and I think it's because he had spoken to somebody, or maybe it was whoever he was at home with. I don't I'm it's the jury is still out on if he's in a real relationship with someone or if that ain't, because I just see him as a fraud at this point. Okay. He just all of a sudden out of the blue calls me, threatening me. I don't sleep around. That is a fact, that I don't sleep around. Never have. Right? He calls me out of the blue, yelling and screaming at me, and tells me that he is going to shoot me in my face. I don't know where it came from. His excuse that he made was that somebody in that sector made him think that I was cheating on him. So you got to understand the actual reason why. First of all, I have had the experience to where, like, I've talked about this. I've told this story about how my baby daddy, he's deceased now. But when we were together 20 years ago, our daughters are in their 20s. But when we were together and when I was giving birth to his children, his sister would always lie to him, right? Told him that my daughter's second child, right? Told, just used to mess with his head, just being meddlesome, being nosy. You know, that man accused me for 2 years I mean, he actually physically put his hands on me because his sister was constantly in his ear. He would accuse that me, and the baby, like, she looked just like him, still looked like him, still looks like him. Okay, about the nose area, like, cause I have a hook nose. My daughter came out with a different nose. She got his nose and just his face. You know, she favored me, but she looked like her father. He took them. He snuck my kids off to go and get a paternity test. This is how sick people are. He came back with when the results came back. He came to my front door in tears, begging me to please come back to him. You know, the only thing I could say to him was that it's too late. You've done too much to hurt me. And that was it. We was broke up ever since. This was 20 years ago. I've and so when I sat back and I thought about it, and when I look at how fake Mike is, right? I've told these stories on the internet. Mike decided to be exactly the man that I do not want to be with. And so that's how I know all of this situation was a setup. Everything about Mike was fake, right? So that's why I say that he raped me. If you sit around as a man and you decide I am going to penetrate a woman, right? And you sit around and you plot with a bunch of women, no matter if they white or black. You sit around and you plot with a group of people and you plot and you plan. And that's exactly what he did. He met up with me so that he could sleep with me for that sector so that he could do exactly what he did. That, my friend, is rape. It's premeditated rape. In my humble opinion, I ain't gonna be able to get him on charges on that, but think about it. He was disingenuous. Okay, so I'm past that aspect of it. It was sick. It was very, very sick what he did. And I don't want anybody to think that I think that that was a normal situation, because it wasn't. He did that for that sector, which is really sick. I have no respect for Mike, and I never will, ever, ever. Even though that sector is saying, "Oh, Mike, you over there tweaking, you over there doing." No, the only reason why he would even want me back is so that he can do the same thing, and I can't respect a man that would do that, because what is wrong with you? What is really wrong with you? There is no way that I would ever in my life, and I'm just not that type of person or woman. I would never, ever, ever meet up with somebody for a YouTube group. I'd rather just not sleep with that person at all. If we gonna be on some fake shit, I'm not gonna give up my body. That ain't like, he ain't got no love for himself. And it was plenty of times that he made it clear to me how fake he was. Right? So for me, I'm sitting here thinking, partially the whole time, that me and him are cool. And you know what? I gave him plenty of opportunity to prove that he wasn't. And that was traumatizing for me. In fact, every single time he goes live in that group on any of y'all panels, he gets cursed. And them curses is going to add up. So you're not understanding the situation. I'm not an actor. I would never ever have sex with somebody on those types of false pretenses. And it tore me down. It did. It tore me down in a sense of I had genuine feelings for him. And then for him to do it for such insignificant reasons. But you know what? I swear to God, black men die every day. They die, they get killed, they kill each other for nothing. So why would I even be surprised about that? I want him erased completely from my consciousness and everything that happened. And I don't like I'm ready to come through like a dark horse. And I ain't like a lot of females. I ain't gonna fake my death. I ain't Machiavelli. And what's wrong with y'all? I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with y'all. Because when you look at that sector, it's all about black people disrespecting each other. I don't deal with people like that. I don't deal with situations like that. So I was speaking about hope. You kept saying, Miss Mel, Miss Mel. No, I don't, even though I don't like her either. Oh my God. It like, how can I take you seriously as a friend, Triple, when you cool with Section 8 bomb? Ill. That's all I gotta say is ill. You realize this year I lost my father? My father died in a horrible way. Guess what Section 8 bomb did? Look at the videos on his channel. Look at how they did. Look at the stuff that they did. Tried to justify it because me being a woman telling Mike he fucked up in the head and I blame it on his mama. Everything Mike did to me, I blamed it on his mama and I talked shit about his mama. He took it as an opportunity to the same day that that I found out that my father died in a horrific way to go live and roast my father. I didn't say nothing about Mike's mother until 3, 4 years after he had like and so you gotta see the inherent difference between the two. In fact, it took me years to say something about Mike's mother after he came on here and disrespected my children. See, I don't hang around people like that because, see, I'm not the type of person that's gonna bust somebody in the head. I'm not gonna do it, and it makes me feel sick inside. I don't like it. Okay, so the fact that I find out that Mike is a weirdo. Like, so what the fuck is like? I just want to forget about him. I want to forget about them. I don't want to even talk. I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it because then see, I can do that. I can do that once I get myself in that position. I'm gonna forget all about them people. I don't even want to think about you. I don't even want to know you exist. That people like that exist. For what? Why I gotta what? And then they keep saying my name over and over again. Don't say my name. Quit calling out my name. What are you calling out my name for? I want to make it backfire every time they bring me up. I don't like none of them people. Triple, none of them. None of them. I don't see value in none of them. None of them. And they know it. They know I say it to their face. Am I supposed to be afraid of saying that? And I ain't gonna kiss their ass. I'm gonna let them know the problem that I got with them. I'm gonna let them all know the problem that I got with them. It was disgusting. The discrimination, the hate, and then trying to justify it by a marital status. Oh my God. I don't like any of it. Okay. So here's the crazy part about it. When I went live and spoke about you, none of them got it. We don't think the same. I think it's very immoral and disgusting what they do. And as a black woman, I've never been devalued ever like that. Like having problems in relationships with your men is different than the constant devaluing based upon race by that group. I wouldn't even argue with a group. Why would I sit around and argue with a group of people like that? And I think that's what they want. I think that's what Cat Smith wants. I think that that's what Hope wanted. And all I see is them as they racist. All I see is the racism. All I see is the obvious bullshit. And I can't respect any of the black men in that group because y'all sit around and y'all let it happen. Well, I mean, why not? I guess that's what y'all do. I ain't asking none of y'all to protect me. I wouldn't even expect a man in my life. Why would I hang around with people like that? Even if I ran into people like that, I'm going to go home, eat dinner, make my family forget about it. I have joy in my heart, in my house. Even if my man went out in the world and dealt with something like that, I would take that energy off of his heart. I would not let him suffer because I want my family to be healthy and happy. I'm not going to sit around and argue. I don't do stuff like that. Now, I'm going to tell you why I have had things to say to that group because they've lied on me, they've slandered me, they keep harassing me, and they keep trying to disrupt business of Divine Services Apothecary. Do you not understand that I am a business owner? It's a sole proprietorship. No, I don't have or need an LLC. Okay. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I would, and let's keep it real. Would they exist if I were not running a business? No, because then they wouldn't have nothing to hate on. Whoever keeps putting these people up to it is doing it obviously to be disruptive to business. So to me, the whole situation ain't even a real social situation. I don't socialize with people like that. I don't have friendships like that. I'm a very loyal person. I don't be and you know what? I'm so loyal to the point where I don't argue like that with the people that I love. Like Mike was the first and the last. Like right now, my Pooh Bear that I'm dealing with right now, you think I would ever fix my mouth to talk to him the way I talk to Mike? Never. Never. Even if I got pissed off at him, I would never speak to that man that way. Because number one, I know I would lose him. He don't play that crap. And he don't speak to me that way. And it was unreal. I feel like all of y'all acting. Triple, I don't think you're acting, but you never can tell. I will never, like, it's bizarre. It really is. And even in social media, in a parasocial connection with somebody, It's not gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the whole thing to where I even had a hard time collaborating with people on here that I'm actually interested in speaking to about the things that I like to talk about, or just people that I'm cool with. And that group of people constantly running behind me and stuff, and like it just it no, no. That's why I got a good heart. And I truly and honestly believe that Mike was trying to kill me. I believe that he was trying to slowly kill me by stressing me out. I do. I will never trust Mike again, ever. Mike is dead to me. Absolutely dead to me. And I think he's a complete idiot, right? I do. I saw him in your chat when you was live. He think it's cute. Who taught him that? Like, I personally think he came to social media and became brainwashed or something. And that's why I've spoken about his mother. Your mother teach you to act like that? Because my mama didn't teach me to act like that. My mama taught me to value the people in my life and to value myself and to take care of myself and to stay away from crazy people. That's what my mother taught me. So and trust me, Mike is not even close to my type. I wouldn't give a damn if Mike had 20 million billion dollars. And I just wouldn't do it. I just no. And I tried because at one point I really cared about him. Like and that's over. That aspect is over. But I was actually talking about hope. I've spoken about hope several times, and I don't give a shit about what people think. I think it's extremely evil for you to be a woman. Something is wrong with you for you to be a woman and for you to be hanging up underneath a black man that's dissing and dogging and degrading a black woman, and she has done nothing to him. Let's keep it real. I have never done anything to Mike. The person that did the initial setup with the whole Mike Mills situation was Tiffany, right? So Mike has literally been trying to be a weapon of destruction in my life. And see, he don't realize how protected I am by love and kindness. I'm not gonna sit up here and allow, I don't know what he thought he was doing, but Mike will perish. And that's exactly what's happening. Because I don't deserve that. I don't treat people like that. Okay? And I have a very good memory. And we're not going to sit up here in front like Mike didn't come at me out the gates just attacking me 12 years ago because somebody told him to. Bringing people on his shows so that they could slander me. I extend him an olive branch 6 years later, and look at what he did with it. He's dead set on it. As far as I'm concerned, he dead inside. How could my love not wake you up? He fucked up. I don't give a shit if Mike live in a mansion. He's a fucked up individual. The things that he did was fucked up. And then here go all these women, if you want to call them women, in his chat room, egging him on. And for what? This has been happening for years, even before I met up with Mike. Happened for years. And it's been going on and on. So the way I figure it, the way I see it, is that group of people, they just hate black women. They looking for somebody to take their shit out on. You not going to take your shit out on me. You see what I'm saying? But I think it really is a racism type of thing going on. And I don't get down like that. I'm a love goddess. I'm a sex goddess. I'm a fertility goddess. I listen, I can lay up for hours per day and night in total ecstasy. That's the way my life is supposed to be. And ain't no racist person, ain't no confused black man gonna tell me that. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. What? Ask Mike. I would tell him all the time. And you know, there would be times when I would just kind of humor him a little bit on that shit, but then I would be like, Mike, I'm tired of talking about that sector. I don't want to talk about them people. You see, well, I don't want to talk about that. I'd rather sit and have a petty argument with my man than to talk about that sector. Talk about them for what? How are they relevant to me? They're not. I don't like that. It's too stressful. No, thank you. Even if I was accepted, which I know I would never be, and I know why, and I ain't gonna say it. I don't want to appear to be conceited. I still wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be on nobody's team in that sector. No, thank you. See what I'm saying? That don't make me a prostitute or a hoe because I want to live my life in pleasure and peace. What? I run no matter where I'm at. An extendo is that I don't even know what is that an extendo like. Yeah, the women in that sector are so mannish. Whether or not I'm in an extended stay or in a mansion, it's gonna be paradise and peace. And that's how I am. I run a tight ship, and it's not that people can't have emotions or whatever around me, but I mean, it's gotta be something that at least matters. And what matters in that group of people does not matter to me. They be flipping and tripping out over stuff that I'm like, I ain't even tripping off of. So the thing of it is, this my whole thing about it is like it's not, I'm not aligned with those people. We're not equally yoked, and I ain't gonna change. I ain't gonna never change. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen because, and I think that, you know, if I'm gonna deal with a man, he gonna be real peaceful and intelligent. It's not a very intelligent thing to be doing that. Yeah. Hey, Jane. Oh my God. Yeah. Like I love to. I be and I'm tell y'all something straight up and down. I've been. My grandmother was. I was. That's how I was raised, man. That's how it was in the house with my parents too. I didn't grow up in a household where it was real chaotic. I didn't, and so it might be some people that were. I was the only child. You got to understand, I'm an only child, and that I was the only one. So and I have four children, and I don't even think being an only child even matters in that situation. Like, my kids would get loud or whatever, but just all that, like, I don't even understand all that. Like, then my grandmother was always a very peaceful person when we lived with her after my parents split up. And, I would just smoke my weed and just be real peaceful. That's why that's why I didn't even understand. They'd be like, I'm gonna smoke some, but I'm gonna roll up and roll up. You rolling up and you like when if like what it like you putting some extra in that because I don't see how that's not even the frequency of marijuana what they be doing. I'd be like, wow, like that's something different. That's something differently different. And I do wanna, and it will happen real soon. I'm just gonna go somewhere and just man once once I get to where I'm going, just a whole year. I'm just gone. Ooh, yeah, I can't deal with the. Oh my God, My grandmother was like that. If an argument broke out in the family, she'd be like, "Y'all not gonna argue in my house. Y'all got to. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. Ain't no arguing going on. You know what I'm saying? And that's just. And we still in my family loud as hell. We loud. Like we get together. We used to get together Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and be loud playing cards or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it was peaceful. It was happy, and it wasn't that my grandmother was a controlling person. It just it you know it just she dealt with her problems differently than how other people dealt with their problems. So I guess you know. Hmm. Right. It's got to be some Jane. It's got to be something else they putting in that weed that they dealing with. Cause in fact, I quit smoking weed. And I attempt and when I started back up smoking, I had did it one time when I was when I was dealing with Mike, right? I'm gonna tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all something. So I'm sitting there chilling with Mike, right? And he was on one of them kicks to where he was like, "I'm done with that shit. I don't even want to talk about them people." And so we sitting there chilling, we smoking, we drinking, and all of a sudden he brings up that sector, and I felt real sick and tense and ugh. So, Mike knew how I was. I immediately pulled out my cauldron, my herbs and stuff, and I said, "We're gonna clear this out." And I tried to get that boy. I try. He destined for damnation. Okay, cause I can't do it. Like I hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. Audio when I switch apps. Delta Burke said I can't fuck with this new generation weed. Oh man, and here's the thing about it. My auntie Regina, she was an Aries, and she could really raise some hell, but it was always about something righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like when she fuss about certain stuff. And just because a person cusses doesn't mean that they ratchet. Cussing doesn't make a person ratchet. I know how to. I can cuss somebody out. I would prefer not to. I don't want to cuss nobody, especially after I got older. And then I started finding myself spiritually and realizing that all that stress and stuff is not good on the heart or the lungs, and it can create all kind of diseases in the body. And I ain't been liking it, and that's one of the reasons why I always make sure that my house is clear of that stuff, because I was like, wow. I was like, the moment that I healed myself and came into my understanding and powers, all of a sudden this situation pops up that is meant to put me in some kind of early grave or either sickness, and I'm not going to have it, because I am in control of my destiny. I am in control of how I feel emotionally. I am in control of that, nobody else. And Mike thought that he could control me. Mike is going to find out. And whoever told Mike, like, I don't know if somebody convinced him of that, or they told him that he could do this or do that. Ain't gonna happen. Because after that very first time that Mike flipped on me, can you hear me, Jane? Confirm that you can hear me, please. I don't know if y'all can hear me. After that very first time that Mike, maybe y'all can't hear me. Can you hear me, Jane Spencer? Let me do a sound check real quick. Okay, y'all can hear me. Testing, maybe y'all can't. What in the world? I don't know if y'all can hear me now. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I'm sure y'all can hear me now. And I don't know why my picture always go away. I just realized that my avatar is gone. That very first time that Mike flipped on me, I was over it. I put up with him because I didn't know how to end it. Because I know the dude, he need help. And I was willing to sacrifice a little bit of my time for another person. But then he began to continuously front on me and still do the sector shuffle, or his little mission in that sector. And I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I basically, I don't know if he had some kind of enchantment on him or somebody enchanted him or whatever, but I kind of fell in love with him at first sight, and I just wanted to help him. But then 5 or 6 years later, I realized, yeah, he ain't gonna never be right. He ain't. And so the situation with Hope Triple is this, like, there was like this silent struggle between me and her for like 3 years straight. And it was certain energies that I would feel from her. And a lot of people felt like she was such a sweet person. And she's one of those covert racists. To She was. And I don't know if it was just that she had hatred for me or if it was all black women, because it's obvious that a lot of them people in that sector do not like black women. Okay. And that's some, don't involve me with that, because, I just, yeah, no, don't label me. Okay. But it was like one of the situations. What I realized about her is that, first of all, she could not stand me. She hated my guts. She wanted me to die. And towards the end of her life, she told me that, like, it was documented on YouTube. It was well documented on YouTube when Hope wished death on me and started spouting a Bible verse at me, in fact. So she was serious as fuck about that. Like, she wanted me dead. I put it up. It seemed like everybody ignored it. I put it up on my community wall because I uploaded the video. I even showed the ritual that I did. I even showed a ritual that I did to protect myself from death. I'm a witch. It's not that I'm superstitious, but it was real negative and toxic. I was like, wow. I've been loved by a man several times. Trust me, I know what real love is. Somebody that loves you, a man that loves you, anybody that you love, somebody wish death on them, you gonna have a problem with it. Now I know I throw that around there a lot. I be like, y'all gonna die. I feel that way about y'all group. I feel like a lot of them in that group are under my control. And I feel like where it's leading them to is death. I can see it very, very clearly. And it's nothing that I can do about it. Especially when when like I said, it reminds me of Will Smith and I Am Legend. They're all like zombies to me, and and that's how it's looked to me. But I don't see good things coming anyway. You know what? I would have nothing to say to any of that group of people if they quit harassing me and stalking me and slandering me. And then throughout the years, they've been adding people to the fold, like new people popping up. It's like, oh, okay, you harassing and stalking somebody because I mean, if I wasn't a witch, the results of being stalked by that sector could have been devastating to a person. And I ain't about to let you do it. You ain't gonna change my life, and you're not gonna make me lose hope. You're not gonna make me look at the world differently. You can't do that. I'm too strong in my convictions. My will to live is too strong for you to do that. So it's either gonna be is it a situation to where it's either you or me? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna make sure it's you and never me. That's how I look at that situation. And I would love to just walk away and not even think about it. I am actually a very positive person. And I've had to show my ugly side on YouTube because of these people. And I wasn't about to sit there and try to act like my family wasn't being threatened. But I ain't about to sit up here and get ran off of nowhere. So and it is what it is. And that's the way I see y'all group. I see it as a hate group. And Triple, I think that you need to really, really consider that. Like when you talking about the situation, like for me, the way I look at any man that I would want to be with is that he would protect me from that. He wouldn't even want my ears to see that. He wouldn't even want my eyes to see. He just want me to be happy. A good man for me is a man that's gonna go out in the yard and not only be ready to defend me if necessary, but I don't bring that kind of trouble. I don't bring that kind of trouble. I don't. I ain't the type of person that brings trouble, right? And it ain't my fault that y'all been doing what y'all been doing. It's not. But I'd rather him go out in the field and plant some lavender for me. I'm just keeping it real, man. Like that's exactly. Yeah, I know, Jane, because it's kind of like, and so I think it's a mistake because what they do is they sit up there and Jane, I love you, right? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, because you my type of people, you know what I'm saying? And like that's some toxic mess. That's a toxic mess. And the whole identity thing, trying to give somebody an identity. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Trying to give somebody an identity, like they was trying to make it seem like they tried to say that, They'll say, oh, you're the female Hope, or you're the female this. No, my name is Jamila. Some people pronounce my name Jamila. My name is Jamila. I ain't like none of y'all. I'm not. And yeah, if I was given no choice, which I felt like I was given no choice, yeah, yeah, we can. I was given no choice but to go to my savage side. And don't think that just that's I think, Jane, that's why I think that they was doing what they was doing. And I don't like I'm the epitome of don't take my kindness for weakness, and I would never do that to another person. People that are kind to me, I don't do that. I value people that are kind to me. And it they've been trying to make it like, mm, mm, mm. That group is a mess, and ain't none of it fun to me. Like, and for a while, like, there's certain things that I enjoy doing that I've been enjoying doing for years, and I stopped doing those things for a while because I was dealing with Mike, and I was trying to get him to wake up. Right, you know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you something. With my new dude, we went through some stuff, and I could immediately recognize the evil eye, and I got rid of that mess. Because I was like, you ain't going nowhere. You staying right with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When you got a group of black people that are that extreme, like these people are extremists, you do have to be careful with them. Like, I'm talking about, be careful. You don't have to bow down to people like that. But you do want to be careful, because black folk have been dragging black people down for generations, doing just what they do. Exactly. Yeah. And I ain't about to have it, Jane. I'm not. I ain't about to have it. Mm-mm. I'm not going to do it. One of them must have went live because my chat went down, because they got to go. The frequencies are different. You know what I'm saying? And they want to, they gotta have their toxicity. It feeds them. That's what they're used to feeding on. They're used to that. It's like they need it, just like they need air to breathe. They don't even like people like me. They hate people like me. I've been accused of trying to be white. Wait a minute. So only white people can be positive? And, Jane, we all know that we all know where they originated from. You know what I'm saying? And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then to accuse black women of not loving our kids. And to this day, my kids are in my three oldest children are in their 20s. And I have an 11-year-old and a grandbaby, and I still remember what their hair smelled like the day that they were born. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to just go around the internet and try to make it seem like all black women have no parental instincts or love for their children is ridiculous. And for your evidence to be because they broke up with the father? Who's having that experience? My parents split up. I think I was 11, 10 or 11 when my parents split up. And I didn't have that experience from my mother. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, and my mother, she didn't do everything perfect, you know what I'm saying? But and we've had our issues, especially after she got cancer. When people have cancer, they kind of act funny. They kind of, they can be, but I wasn't raised that way. She had already raised me by the time me and my mother had any type of problems. She had already raised me. It was too late. I was already the way she raised me. So, and I had a dream about my mother, Jane, last night. Oh my God, I had a dream about her. And she's doing so good, is all I got to say. I ain't going to tell all the details, but she's doing really good in her afterlife. Yes, I had it, and I couldn't believe it. Like it was so random. It was like, I feel like whenever you have dreams like that about your deceased family like that, that's them making contact with you or whatever. So and when I look at my parents, I haven't dreamt about my father or anything, you know what I'm saying? But that man would talk to me for hours, and he raised me with some good values. He did, and I will accredit him for that. He did, you know what I'm saying? Even though we didn't necessarily agree with each other after, because my father, he battled cancer for years too. My father had colon cancer. He beat cancer. My father actually beat colon cancer too. So when I look at the fact that somehow it came from the genes or the upbringing, the fact that I have enough sense, it doesn't matter if I'm a witch or Christian, I still have the ability to regulate myself, right? I have that ability to do that. That came from somewhere. So I love and appreciate my parents because they had to, it did something to make me understand and to be prepared for this very same situation that I'm dealing with right now. Because some of the stuff that they've done and said and the energy, somehow I know how to keep a hold of myself, right? To the point where I ain't gonna end up in prison from, flipping out and going and handling them people. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even want to ever be in that energy. And I would for damn sure never put myself in that situation to even deal with. And I never have. Like, ask any of my cousins, man. I'm a nerd, man. I quit going to clubs when I was like 26. I don't even want to go to no nightclub. I don't want to be around all that stuff. I didn't come down to Atlanta for the freak nick or whatever. I came down here for the scenery. You know what I'm saying? Because this is beautiful in Georgia, but it's beautiful in my hometown too. So you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get back to my quiet life. Even if I was born in Georgia, I would still keep to myself and not. Mm-mm. I don't want to use I don't want to argue with nobody. I just no. And I have a lot of life in me. Very active person. Constantly cleaning up this little bitty space I got, mopping and stuff. Hold on. Constantly mopping and constantly doing stuff and working out and stuff and it's been good. Life has been good, especially since I stopped associating with Mike, because Mike was trying to, and I'm going to emphasize on trying to drain me. And I was not going to let him do that, and neither was my ancestors. So, yeah. Yeah, and just when you be on some chill stuff and like asking any of my friends, man, it just be some vibing type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's make some cosmopolitans. You know what I'm saying? Let's chill and sit back and that, just like I ain't the type of person that'll get together with somebody and it's always got to be some drama. Like I just, mm-mm. And it just is sad because the way I see it is that for somebody else's purpose, I was labeled and people don't even really know who I am. Like just because I came on here and cussed some people out that was threatening my kids, you damn right, you threaten my kids. I love my babies. You gonna get messed up. I would not ever let no. And no, like, and so that was the only reason why they even got my attention. And they knew that the type of person that I was, I wouldn't have gravitated towards that. So they had to do something to get my attention. And what they did was they did the CPS campaign. That's the only reason why I even paid them any attention or even said anything about them, because they were swatting me. Otherwise, I would have never had anything to say. Would have, you know what I'm saying? And mm-mm, yeah. And I am not gonna forgive people for doing that. It don't mean that you gotta necessarily die. That don't mean you gotta die just because I don't forgive you. You just go on here and get up out of my face with that mess. And I don't, and yeah, no, I don't want your name in my mouth. I'm sorry, want your name in my mouth or mine in yours. And I think it's preposterous. And you know what? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the men in the Midwest, man. I'm used to the Midwestern men. You know what I'm saying? They don't do stuff like that from my hometown. You know what I'm saying? You don't sit there. Oh man, all that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. And you know, it's too much. It just is wow. Like you just be like, wow, Yeah. Yeah, I like to, I mean, that's why I don't like listen to music prior to talking about that group, because I don't want them to mistake it and think that I'm trying to, because to me it's not entertainment. I would not be I would not ever be entertained as a black woman by looking at a black man get degraded that way. That would not entertain me. It wouldn't. I'm not entertained by it. So I would expect the same respect, especially from my people, but just from all people. That doesn't make me feel good. In fact, the past few years, I don't even like looking at them slave movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like it does, when they do stuff like that, like it makes it easy for you, that type of ignorance. It's like, God, I can't stand those types of people. But I would never stigmatize the entire black community because of the behaviors of people like that. You know what I'm saying? That to me is just plain old ignorance, and can't nobody force me to do it. And that's why I said, just kind of count me out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be, this is it. Otherwise, you're gonna have Hades knocking at your door. And it took me a long time. It's because of how much of a nice person I am. Mm. If you a dangerous threat or a predator to me, you know, mm-mm. And then I don't believe in taking your, expressing too much anger and taking it out on an innocent person. I don't believe in doing stuff like that because I feel like if you don't understand the psychological way of doing it, or either the spiritual way of not taking your anger out, and y'all can ask any of my children. I've never been angry and took it out on my kids. Like, I've been irritable before, and my kids could tell that I was obviously irritated, but to just do harm to somebody just because I'm angry, that ain't never been my stilo at all. No, 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 no. Okay. And I don't think I'm special because there's a lot of people like a lot of people in this world that are like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that there's people out there that are, very similar to me, and those are the type of people that I want to connect with. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't even want that energy surrounding me because that's silly. Like, so, that's the whole thing with Hope. I don't care about what Byron Muir running around here talking about. Like, he obviously has, you know, like, for y'all to sit back, especially if you've been around for years and you saw how it started, you saw why it started, and you saw that I basically was like an innocent person that they just chose, and they sure did choose the correct one, didn't they? I'm glad they didn't do that to somebody else that wouldn't have been able to handle it. So I'm always stay resilient. I'm not like your average person, obviously. So, I'm glad they didn't, because if it would have been anybody else, they wouldn't have been able to handle it. I wouldn't want to see another family dealing with that, or a mother, especially a mother that loves her children, shouldn't be dealing with that. So yeah, and they can be terrorists all they want. They gonna get it. And I'm 1 million. No, I'm sorry. I'm 1 trillion% confident in that. Like, I know it. It's just annoying. That's why I ain't got to be stressed out about the situation. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, some of the issues and problems that they present, a lot of my clients may have issues and problems with people like that. And I just sit over here and I create my potions and stuff and I do my thing and it works. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, and I know for a fact that everybody in that group wants me dead. They're not going to say it because they got to fool the public. All those people would love to see me dead, me and my children. And yeah, it's some black women connected to that group. My spirits be watching them and they be trying to wish death, want to cut off my family and stuff and all that. It's like, oh, you gonna have some problems, lady. You gonna have a lot of problems. A lot of them, they'll be never ending, and we're not gonna have those problems. And no, y'all didn't win. First of all, Triple, that audio that I don't know if that was Cat Smith, if she was, because I was listening to your show that you did, and I don't know if you bought her on your panel, uh telling me that I made poor choices, and that's why that, well, yeah, it was a poor choice, but I still was deserving of good. Yeah, I made a very poor choice choosing that landlord. That's the only poor choice I made, hun. Otherwise, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, And I may have made a poor choice telling Mike where I lived. That was another one. But I mean, honestly, just because you know where I live don't mean you got any power. Because you can know where I'm at all day and night. It ain't gonna matter. I can always stand my ground and I ain't gotta go out and fight nobody or shoot nobody. So, and I think it's extremely disrespectful, uh, you know, for for these racist white women. Yeah, I think it's extremely disrespectful for them to be standing around creating these scenarios, or either doing the things that they doing and talking to grown people like they children. I'm grown. Yes, I am almost 50 years old. I still look good. I still look young, but it don't make no sense. And so is my landlord. The landlord grown. Why they couldn't do their job? Like, and if you don't have any empathy or understanding for me, I ain't gotta talk to you. I ain't gotta talk to you. Whatever. I know my situation. I know what went down. And I thought it was ridiculous the way they came out here trying to prove that they were so toxic, that like that was just, I'm not even gonna, yeah, I ain't gonna go there with the whole, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not, that was stupid. And I don't do stupid. I don't. That was so dumb, because what did that do for you? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, yeah, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That was silly. That was it. It don't even make no sense. So I don't even want to be associated with that kind of low grade embarrassment. And I don't think of black people as being at the bottom of the totem pole. As a black woman, I don't, and I don't have to feel that way. And if anybody feels that way, they're not welcome in my utopia then. Because I feel like we don't judge people by the color of their skin. We judge them by the content of their character, period. Okay. So, and I think I played around with that group for years. I just started saying a few years ago, like, y'all about to die. Like, y'all better leave me alone. I'm sick of this shit. Like, I don't even want to go through this. And now all of a sudden but they were doing things that could have got me killed. So they were doing things that could have gotten me killed. Tried to get me killed by the police a few times, because somebody was trying to do spell work to make the police shoot me up or whatever. Like, I could see all of that. And then, like, you sick, whoever was doing it. It was a black woman that did that. Like, girl, bye. Your little spells or whatever you trying to cast ain't got nothing on my spirits and my ancestors. They gonna make sure we safe. They did for years, and I thought it was sick, and so I don't understand the prejudices towards black women, just because those black women are ornery, and y'all know exactly the type of black women that I'm talking about. They out here in social media. And one of them hate me because I'm light skinned, and the other one hate me because I don't even god dang know. But one thing I do know is that I'm tired of all the crying and the setup and the get up, and spirit tired of that stuff. So you can go ahead and try to fight with Hades all you want. Like I said, you gonna lose every time. Period. Like, that's just what that is. And so anyway, Triple, I'm just saying, as a black woman, I would not hang around with a white man. Let's say I was in a relationship with a white man. I wouldn't be in no relationship with no white man that's racist. Like, okay, pointing out the obvious problems, but he ain't in social media trying to make a career out of it, trying to exploit people. But I wouldn't be hanging around with somebody that's obviously, it's almost like you done turned a blind eye to it. You know what I'm saying? That's just like when Miss Smell go live and be like, you're black welfare, and using the N-word and stuff like that. I ain't never been on no welfare. And that's how she and so, the wires are getting crossed here, like, uh, something weird about that. So, and so that's why I said what I said, because really, to be honest with you, I'm just like cutting out, and it ain't even ties. There's no ties whatsoever with that sector, because it's nothing to me. The people that I've met on the internet that I like, which me and Mike do not talk. There's nothing between me and Mike. We have not spoken and we will never speak again. Done with him. Okay. But, I've met some pretty cool people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm good with it. Okay. My dude, I didn't meet him on the internet though. We met organically. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't suggest throwing no negative energy at me either. Don't throw no negative energy at me. Mike needs to quit trying to throw negative energy at me, because every single time it's going to bite him in the ass every single time. Because I noticed that every single time I mention that I've moved on, he wants to try to throw some negative energy, because I can see you. Peekaboo, I see you. And you, let me tell you something. You caused that kind of trouble in my life, and then it was real contrived and just made up. Like, oh, Jamila's gonna be alone the rest of her life, and oh, nobody wants you, and that it was just like really, it was like really weird. Like it was way too, it was weird. Okay. And then when I do meet somebody that I like, you're gonna try to mess that up. No, you're not. I'll rip you apart. That's just like my babies that you tried to attack. You see all of them healthy and happy. And I don't let none of that toxic stuff touch my kids. I'm the first line of defense. Anything come to my children, it comes to me. And they have tried to, and so this is all good. That's why they bind it. I don't give a damn if you Christian or whatever. You bind it from being able to harm my babies. And I put that on my life. So anyway, that's pretty much it, Triple. I think you missed the point. I want to hear your response to that. I want you to tell me, brother, how can you let this happen? How could you let that happen? Like, do you think any black woman in the year 2024 wants to sit around and have a racist argument with anybody? You think any happy black woman is sitting around doing that? Now, we deserve, anybody deserve better than that. You run into racism and you go home and you do what you do about it, but you don't sit around and dwell on it, argue on it, and then this racist white woman constantly has access to you. Nah, man, you that ain't how it work. And where are we doing that at? Because the last time I checked, slavery was over. And then the second time I checked, I ain't never been no slave. I don't have no memory. It doesn't compute. You know what I'm saying? Like if a racist person wanted, that they was trying to tickle my fancy and make me bow to racism or slavery or something, it ain't gonna, I'm like a statue. I'm not gonna budge. I'm like Medusa or something. Like I'm like, no, like I don't like my mind and my soul does not equip to that. So I'm not gonna break down for you. Like, what is this? And then I don't like that. And then here's another thing. I have in the racial tension. I don't like racial tension. I'm a business owner. I will. And I do have white clients and clients of other races as well. So there ain't none of that allowed in my reality, in my utopia. And a person like me should not ever have those problems. But why did I have those problems? Scapegoating, lies, bullshit, and con games. And I don't, you ain't got to be no thug to survive something like that. You just got to be smart. So, anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Again, I want to say to that group, continue to use my name and my face at your own risk. Because I don't want no parts of it. Okay? All right, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta go pay some bills. So I will catch y'all later. Okay? All right. Blessings to y'all. Bye bye.